For my week 8 self-audit, I chose the high school I work for, which is Boonville High School. I used prong 1 to gather my information. Boonville High School has 488 students, 265 males, which is 54.3%, and 223 females, which is 45.7%. They currently have 9 boys sports and 10 girls sports. I received my information this week, or over the last couple of weeks, from our assistant principal Desiree Jones, current athletic director Chris Scheichels, yearbook sponsor Lisa Moody, and I also handed out flyers to 20 students from each grade level in our middle school and high school, which consists of grades 6 through 12. And I also, of the 20 students, 10 of them are boys, 10 of them are girls, to try and get an equal representation. The biggest problem I had through this was to find the years that some of the sports started. Research with our yearbook sponsor and athletic director, and some of them we could not come up with an accurate starting year, so we just put NA. We could not find a definitive, so they were at least 52 years old, which was as far as we could get yearbooks to go back. Page 1 of the effective accommodation and participation opportunities. When I was going through the computations of it, the female enrollment percentage and the number of girls again was 45.7% of the student population. The female participation rate was 48.7%. The compute duplicate female participation rate was 49%. This had a participation variance of 3% and a duplicate participation variance of 3.3%. In order for the school to be not in compliance, even though it is not in the law or represented, they say you have to be within a 5% acceptance variance, and Boonville High School does fall within that 5% range. The second page that we had to fill out had to do with the sports, the year they started, and how many varsity and JV participants are in each sport for the girls. The sports that the girls have right now are cross country, which was started in 2007. It has not been eliminated and is still going strong. The average number of participants is 7 varsity and 1 JV. Dance, which in some schools is not considered a girls sport or counted in girls sports, but ours is because they go to state competitions and other competitions, so it is considered a sport then. It was started in 1988 and has an average participation of 7 girls. Cheerleading, we were not sure when it started. They've had cheerleaders back through the yearbooks that we've looked at, and we're not sure the exact starting date, but the average number of participants has been 11. Golf was started in 2015. We have had an average participation rate of 5 varsity members and 1 JV member through those 3 years, or 2 years. Softball, we were not sure when it started. It's been going on a long time. It has an average participation rate of 11 varsity to 7 JV. Tennis was started in 1982 and is still going strong. Average participation is 10 varsity and 17 JV. Volleyball, we're not sure when it started. We have 3 levels there, 8 on varsity, 8 on JV, and 11 freshman level. Basketball has been going on a long time and not sure when it started, but the average participation was 10 on varsity, 12 on JV. Soccer was just started a few years ago in 2009. It has an average participation rate of 18 on varsity and 13 on JV. Track has been around a long time and we're not sure when it started. but it has an average participation rate of 20 varsity and 7 JV. So I added swim to this because our school board and our athletic director are in communications now of starting both a boys and girls swim team. Right now, the numbers are not there to justify starting the team yet, but the youth program at the YMCA has large numbers, and we know within a year or two that we may be having a both boys and girls swim team. The next page of filling out had to do with the full effectiveness accommodation questions. Question number 1 was, what steps have been taken to expand women's athletic participation opportunities within the last 3 years? We have added a girls golf team, and the district is talking about a swim team. Again, the swim team would be for both boys and girls. The girls team started 2 years ago, and we have had a constant number of 6 people through those 2 years. Question number 2 is, what plans does the school have to place to expand women's athletic participation opportunities in the near future? Again, possibility of adding a swim team, golf and girls basketball, and tennis coaches offer free clinics and camps for the elementary and middle school age girls to hopefully build the participation when they get to the high school level. Question number 3, based on the results of sports participation survey, have you administrated to your student body? What are the areas of growing interest among the school's female sports? At the high school level, the biggest interest was a swim team. Does your school offer any boys sports for which the same girls sports equivalents are typical, offered by most schools but not at your school? Golf was, but now has been offered since 2015. Before that, girls had to play on the boys team. Question 5 was, are there sports offered at the middle school, junior high, elementary level schools in your district, area, or state that are not presently offered at your school? And the only one that we have seen at other schools that we do not offer at our school is cross country for both boys and girls. Question 6, are there sports offered by high schools in your geographic area, league, district, state, maximum travel range that are not presently offered at your school? And the answer to that was no. Are there any club sports offered at your school or at other area schools in which there have been significant demonstrated interest to evaluate a club sport to the varsity status? And the answer to that was also no. Are there any intramural sports at your school in which there have been a significant demonstrated interest to support establishing a varsity team in the sport? And the answer to that was also no. Boonville High School currently does not have an intramural program. Are there any community sports programs or park and rec programs presently offered in your area in which there has been significant demonstrated interest to support the establishment of varsity programs at the school? Right now, there has been talk at middle schools throughout our conference and throughout this area for soccer to start at the middle school, and again, swim at the high school level. And cross country is another one that we would like to start at the middle school level. Have there been any requests in recent years by students, parents to add a particular new sport or to evaluate the particular sport to varsity status? Again, golf was requested and was added 2 years ago. Swim has been requested but still being discussed by our Board of Education. The next form was the student participation survey. Again, I handed out 20 forms to 10 boys and 10 girls at each grade level from 6 through 12. The biggest response we got for the varsity high school level was swim, and that was 11% of the participants that took part in it. Most of the others were a small enough percentage where it really didn't consider, and some at the high school level were left blank. Middle school level, there's quite a difference. Again, middle school does not offer as many sports as the high school level. 43% of the middle schoolers responded that they would like to have soccer. 16% responded that they would like to have cross country. 42% said that they would like to start a baseball and softball team through the school. And again, that was at the middle school level. The next form has to do with the key issues, whether male and female athletes are provided the equal advanced competitive opportunities. In other words, do the boys basketball team and the girls basketball team play the same number of games? Of the sports that compete both boys and girls, the first one I looked into and researched was tennis. When we counted up the number of sporting events for both the boys and girls, they were both at 17. There was 27 total varsity, JV, and freshman tennis players, and of the boys, there was 21 boys participating in it. In golf, the girls had one less event than the boys. The girls had 10 and the boys had 11, but when it was broken down, the girls golf participated in one more tournament than the boys, which equaled out the number of holes being played. Right now, the girls golf team has 6 members on there, and the boys team has 7 members on there. Track, there was 11 contests for both the boys and the girls. There was 27 girl participants and 21 boy participants. Basketball, there was 23 games for each boys and girls. On the girls' side, there was 22 participants in girls basketball and 17 in boys basketball. Soccer, there was 18 contests each, 28 girl participants and 32 boy participants. Cross country, there was 8 matches each, or 8 races each. There were 8 girl participants and 6 boy participants. After the self-audit, I found Boonville High School is in compliance with Title IX. There are more girls sports than boys. The average number of girls playing are greater than that of the average of the boys. We are within the 5% variance that was needed. We have started 3 girls sports in the past 10 years and have only started 1 boys sport. Again, we are looking into starting both a girls and a boys swim team, which would just add to the numbers. As I said earlier, the school is looking into starting both the boys and girls team and also the cross-country team for both boys and girls at the middle school level. After taking requests on the survey, other than swimming at the high school, no other sports received much attention. There was a lot of interest at the middle school level, but other than cross-country, those sports are not currently being played at any of the other conference or area schools, so we wouldn't be able to find matches for them.